I honestly don't know what to say. Like, Jesus fuck. Like, I honestly don't know what to say. I just finished episode 5. That was possibly the best Game of Thrones episode I've ever seen. Jesus Christ, that was fucking insane. The amount of shit that happened. I mean, just what a fucking great episode. I mean, there were small disappointments and there were some character arcs that didn't really end in a justifiable way, but the overall plot and I think the way they wrapped everything up and just I think the whole sort of epicness of the sequence and the episode as a whole I think is fucking amazing. The episode 6 promo just came out and I'll make a separate video on episode 5, but this is just going to be on a couple predictions based on the preview of episode 6 and the events that just happened in episode 5, and there just so much happened. Bear in mind this will obviously have spoilers for episode 5. So I think the big thing to take away from episode 5 is that Dany's lost all her support. Jon is not going to support her. Tyrion is not going to support her. So Davos is not going to support her. She's only got the Dothraki and the Unsullied left. Everyone else absolutely hates her. I mean, she just massacred so many civilians. And up until the point where they surrendered and the bells were rung, then it was sort of justified. But afterwards, she just absolutely went into a crazy frenzy, and the Unsullied lost it, and the Dothraki lost it. And even when the Lannister soldiers surrendered, they just started killing them. It's just an absolute massacre of civilians after they surrendered. She's completely moved into the plotline, into the arc of the plotline that is her going mad like her father. Now, the episode 6 promo has a few interesting things. So, for example, we see Arya looking over the Unsullied, but probably very likely at Daenerys. And she's just seen Daenerys murder so many innocent civilians, and she's just seen dead bodies and burned civilians. And I'm now a supporter of the Green Eye theory that the Green Eyes that she's predicted to kill will be Daenerys, because just the absolute hate that she's going to have for her now. As like I said, everyone does. Just about all the Westerosi hate Daenerys now for the absolute massacre of civilians, especially Tyrion, who warned her against it. It's just, it's very clear that she'll have very little support in the next episode. And either Arya or Jon, I reckon, will kill her in the next episode. Probably Arya because of the Green Eye theory, but it could be Jon. And this is the reason that I think in the end he will accept the Iron Throne, because before he didn't really have as much of a strong reason to, but after seeing Daenerys completely lose it, I think he will have seen that she can't sit on the Iron Throne and that she's not fit to rule. Interestingly, not a lot of the Unsullied and Dothraki are still alive at this episode in the promo for episode 6. So it's interesting to see what part they're going to play in terms of solidifying Daenerys' control. I think especially the shots where you see Tyrion walking and looking at the ashes that she's created, and she's quite literally become Queen of the Ashes, will completely make him and Jon work together to absolutely rip her down. Where the trailer ends of her standing over her armies, it's probably when she's going to give a big speech, which is why the Dothraki are going to cheer as we see them in another shot. So in terms of a quick summary, they're going to turn against Daenerys, that's pretty obvious. And I think Jon is going to take the Iron Throne. The shot of him and Sir Davos is probably going to be when they're talking and he finally has to accept and does accept that he is going to sit on the Iron Throne and not Daenerys. But actually, because this trailer was very short, they didn't actually show a lot. This is a 20-second trailer, and I think they did that on purpose so that as much as we do see characters reacting to the rubble and the smoke that Daenerys has left in the city, we don't actually see a lot of anything related to the plot. So I think this trailer is really just highlighting the shots of them looking around the city and seeing the destruction that she's wrought and solidifying why they're going to turn against her.